How's it going, guys? Well, welcome back to TheBlueShifting. Welcome back to Steinsgate, my darling's embrace, where we are about to race Kurisu in probably the most horrific slaughter that is about to be witnessed today. This might be one of the worst things we'll ever see. If he doesn't die or nearly die, he will have wished he had. But something tells me something's gonna go horrifically wrong because it would be poetic at this point. So like I'm putting my bets on Okabe nearly drowns. We'll see how this goes. But yeah. So we're doing that, and they're here at the water park. It was a wonderful episode. Okabe Mayuri time was really, really sweet and lovely, and everyone else is just having a great time as well. It's just been fun. It's like there's no other word to describe it but fun. And that was Steinsgate beach/pool. Special is kind of fun just because it's not really something that ever came up at any point. I mean, they're like, in the main one, there's always dates, and there's a little fan service sprinkled in here or there, but this is the first time getting a real, true, like, vacation-esque style with all the characters, which has just been glorious. Not even all of them. Like, Suzuha, Shining Finger, oh gosh, I know her name. I'm so bad. And then Luca also aren't here, so it's not even everybody. Shining Fingers. Why can I think of Shining Finger, but I can't think Moeka? I'm gonna blame lack of sleep and a very rough start to my week on that. We're gonna go with it. So here we go. We're jumping right in. We're gonna see how this plays out and what are the shenanigans that are going to follow as we continue to march forth to the end of the game and the end of the Steinsgate series. As far as, true canon Steinsgate, we're getting there. Anyway, let's jump right in. Bring it on.
ここから泳いでいって、そうだな。あの島まででどうだ?
Island? You mean that big pile of rocks? Okay. Yeah, remember I said I thought he was going to potentially nearly drown? If he doesn't smash his head on the rocks, I'm going to be genuinely surprised. I pointed at one of the artificial islands floating on the water. It's just about big enough for 5 adults to lay down on.
いいけど、ざっと見て25メートルはあるわよ。
Yes.
大丈夫？おかり。
Oh, right. He was getting tired at 15 or 10. Ooh, yeah, that's not good.
まあ、任せておけ。お前のおかげで、俺は今、天才生命なのだ。
I will also remind everybody in the audience today. He'd also just eaten, a lunch. Physically exerting yourself super hard after eating, recipe for disaster, and puking. Lots and lots of potential puke. Aww. Kurisu took off her parka, set it poolside, and stood next to me. Mairi and Ferris also removed their soaking parkas and came to our sides.
フェイリス、スタートの合図を頼む。
Alright.
了解だにゃ。
Let's see, just gonna appreciate this for a second. Ferris still best girl. I apologize.
天神ダゴンよ。大いなる海の父よ。今ここに集いし、2つの高潔なる魂が名誉をかけて戦おうとしています。この戦いに勝つ者にも敗れる者にも、その魂の行く末に大いなるご加護を。
Cute, but I can see a potential mistake in doing this. So, Dagon, an ancient deity with a fish head, he was the first worshipped by the Philistines, but was then later treated by the Israelites as an evil demon. As a result, he is also considered to be a demon in Christianity and Judaism. He even appears as a god of chaos that serves the old god Cthulhu in H.P. Lovecraft's work. Recent studies suggest that he was originally a deity associated with fertility and agriculture. I learned something there.
長い
Yeah.
ふにゃ。
ダル、代わりにやってくれ。
Daru, can you take over, please? Yes, there we go.
わかったよ。位置について。
Yep.
よーい、ドン
Dong! With that, Kurisu and I started racing toward the island. Following Mayuri's instructions, I swim in a 4-count rhythm. This is going well! I can't wait to see the look of amazement on Christina's face. Oh no.
何
What? When I lifted my head, I could see her legs in front of me. She's not as fast as Mayuri, but she's good. She's an indoor person like me and not good at exercise. She can't be that good, I thought. But seeing her ahead of me made me doubt myself.
ああ、今日も負けちゃうにゃ。
Good. Go.
っていうかマキセ氏楽勝じゃね？
Oh, that's just mean.
頑張ってオカリー。
おのれやらせはせんぞ
But no matter how hard I tried to swim, I didn't feel like I was moving forward. On the other hand, even though Kurisu was moving her arms and legs slowly, she kept pushing further and further ahead. I was headed towards a truly embarrassing loss.
やむをえん
What's that? I decided to go all in on a gambit. Fluid dynamics dictates that you swim faster if you completely submerge. I think there are rules limiting the distance the swimmers can use the underwater dolphin kick in the Olympics, so it has to be a good strategy. It also could be a safety problem. So the backstroke technique developed by Jesse Vaslow for use underwater. Unlike the backstroke, the swimmer's arms remain extended past the head as if they were developed to allow for the smoother transition into the butterfly and backstroke. It requires a swimmer to utilize a standard dolphin kick. In accordance with Olympic rules, this technique can only be used for 15 meters from the start line or the turn. It's also something called the Vastello method. Yeah, that's something that you see. It's like when they dive into the water, you notice that they don't move, they aren't like swimming, they're just kicking for the first little bit and then they do it. And yeah, I imagine that's because with the kickoff, as long as you're under the water, you're maintaining your momentum because you're putting yourself into a near frictionless environment. That's actually why astronauts will practice in large submersed pools for spacewalks, because the buoyancy effect can replicate space in the sense that you have no real like up, down, back, or forward. It's obviously not perfect because you still feel the effects of gravity, but it's the closest you can get to a truly like frictionless environment on Earth without having to go into some really crazy things like the skydiving planes or anything like that, or skydiving in general. But yeah, cool stuff. I took a deep breath and tried to sink into the water. So yeah, but his logic is flawed. If he wanted to really utilize this, it would have had to been on kickoff and launch. Unfortunately, it was a technique that proved a little too tricky for an amateur like myself. Called it. I don't know, what do you call them? Like I get cool points. No, it's not cool. I get otaku points. Maybe that's more like it. I guessed right. Sinking into the water threw off my balance. I'm not sure what happened, but I think my body rotated completely. I experienced a strange sensation of my legs coming out of the water for a fraction of a second. The next moment, water rushed into my nose. The pressure shoots into my and splitting pain through my head. Yeah, that's not good, because if he panics, he's gonna inhale water. That's how you start drowning. I tried to swim to the surface, and I can't get my head above the surface. The surface of water is supposed to be right there. Yeah, it's not too common, but again, with someone with no experience, you can get discombobulated pretty easily. Now, you would think you could just look with your eyes, but in a panic, he's probably not got his eyes open, especially in a chlorine pool. And so in a panic, he's not likely to think of that. I had lost my sense of direction. The more nervous I got, the less I knew whether I was facing up or down. I can't breathe. My chest tightens and aches for air. Is it really this easy for someone to drown? Yes. And actually what's really terrifying is what people display on TV as drowning is not drowning at all. If you're able to shout, you're actually not drowning yet, because that's the whole point. Drowning is when you are incapable of getting air into your lungs, at least enough to keep you sustained. And so drowning is a silent affair. Even splashing is not too easy to recognize, especially if you're on a crowded beach or a pool. The people who are actually drowning don't give big tales. If you ever meet anybody who works as a lifeguard and got training as a lifeguard, go talk to them about this, because it's really fascinating. When the signs for people who are drowning are simply people who are submerged completely under the water for an extensive period of time and who are flailing but are unable to breach the surface. If you can get your head to the top of the water, you can gasp for air. You might be on the brink of drowning at that point, but that's the thing, is you can call for help, and that means people can recognize you're in danger. most of the time when people are genuinely drowning, like it sounds like Okabe is now, they're too far to be able to get that breath for a call to help. In fact, again, if they're discombobulated, they might start frantically kicking, trying to get themselves to the surface, and can actually swim further down rather than up, preventing them from getting closer to air. And another thing to consider is also body mass. I've actually experienced this. I was much bigger, not fairly recently, like a year or 2 years ago, and I lost a lot of weight. I was swimming that entire time as a way of building up exercise and muscle. I've noticed that as I lost weight, I have a harder time floating in the water. It's just the fact that fat is buoyant. And so if you have a decently high body fat, you actually are easier. It's easier for you to float and harder for you to drown. Not impossible, but harder for you to drown. So actually, some of the people who are most at risk of drowning are the skinniest people, because they have such higher density disproportionate to their buoyancy that they can sink naturally. So somebody like Okabe, who's like a twig and who doesn't know what he's doing, might find that if he were to sit perfectly still, he would actually sink to the bottom. I remember when I was a lot bigger, if I just laid, if I could lay on my, I could stop moving and I would just bob like a cork. I could flip over and I could just float forever. Obviously, rough waves would probably be a big problem for me in like the middle of an ocean disaster or storm. But when it comes to like calm lake swimming or pool swimming, it's like I couldn't sink unless I really, really wanted to and had to grab some kind of weight or something. But now, as I am, and as Okabe is especially, they might sincerely just sink right to the bottom. So if he's kicking wildly and inadvertently with his legs in the air, kicking himself down, even if he stops kicking, he might just come to rest at the bottom of the pool. This is a recipe for genuine death. Now, granted, he was being watched by his friends, so I don't think he's actually in danger here. But if his friends were distracted, it doesn't take long for this to turn into a really desperate situation. This isn't even the ocean. It's just a swimming pool. This is supposed to be a fun competition. Why do you think there's lifeguards at swimming pools? This stuff happens shockingly too often. That's why I really should start learning to swim. If you don't know how to swim, this is the biggest reason why you should know. Because even just getting through the basic lessons can actually help you avoid this situation. It can't. As those thoughts race through my mind, strong arms wrap around my sides and pull at me. Those powerful arms pulled me along. That must be Dario. He came to help me. No. Might be powerful, but knowing this route, it's my area. I desperately cling to him. I must have gotten completely mixed up and underwater when I lifted my head in the direction Dario was pulling me. I easily cleared the surface. Yeah. It can be that quick though. I fill my lungs with air and my aching chest gradually starts feeling better. Oh, she did rescue him. Oh, scary though. I turned my head toward my savior. But it wasn't Dario.
Oi! 大丈夫か?
And that's the crazy thing too, is like he got really close to like actually drowning there, but because he was rescued, I doubt anyone's even going to truly understand how close that really was, because that was really close. Like I said, if his friends had been distracted, some goofy game they were playing and they weren't really like looking, 10 minutes, that can be enough. Most people like try holding your breath. Have you tried holding your breath for like as a competition, like how long can I hold my breath challenge? If you can get 2 minutes, that's pretty good. I think the world record's like 5. I don't know for sure, but like it's not that long. And you know how quick 5-10 minutes can pass? That's like a typical length of a song. How many times do you listen to a song or two, not really like paying attention to what's going on around you, especially if you had headphones in? Next thing you know, someone could be gone, just forever. Kind of morbid to think about it, but it's so true. I've never had to experience this personally, thankfully, but it's always been something I was taught very, very heavily, because my dad grew up at a lake resort, like a little like a cabin resort in Montana, on the shore of a lake, and it was a wonderful place. But he saw the after effects of family members who weren't paying enough attention, who didn't know how to swim, and just had that really bad combination of events happen, and they lose somebody. He had to witness that, watch like a fun, happy like vacation utterly destroy a family forever because of one little mistake, one thing that might have been preventable. And the worst part is that while like that's never really anyone's fault when this kind of thing happens, do you really think anybody who was around, the family or friends, wouldn't think for the rest of their lives, what if I was just paying more attention? What if I'd been listening or watching closer? But no, you never get to know, and you shouldn't have to feel that way, and you shouldn't have to face that darkness, but it's not like it can't just move past something like that. It's a real threat. Like, I think more people die from drowning than any other, like, accident-based, like, death. Like, it's like almost exclusively water that kills people more than anything else. So be careful. Watch closely with your family and friends. Don't just trust in fate, even if you feel confident that they're decent swimmers. Even the best of swimmers can get caught in a bad riptide in the ocean, and that can really be a doom for anybody. So, not saying that you should always be on guard and always be freaking out, but like, it's one of those things that merits extra consideration. Daru and Ferris were splashing through the water towards us. Seems that they didn't realize how serious this was. Yeah, again. It doesn't seem Kurisu knew either, as she looked at me from afar with a look of befuddlement.
Mayuri?
Oh my gosh. But no, she knew too. She definitely knew. This is really cute, by the way. And the music is so perfect for it. Right, it was Mayuri holding on to me. Aww.
心配かけてすまなかった。
Of course, that's what you say. From this close, I could tell that Mayuri had tears in her eyes. I can't believe that the powerful force that yanked me out of the water was Mayuri. That's when I realized I was still holding on to her. Her smooth skin was stuck to my body. All that separated her chest from my side was a thin layer of cloth. I know it's kind of a thing, but like, and I'm sure it's a thought you might have, but at the same time, like, good grief, man. More important things right now. Like, if you're drowning, getting saved by a naked person shouldn't matter. You're getting saved. Like, that's priority number uno. I let go of her in a fluster.
マイリー、もう離れても平気だから。
No, I don't think she wants to, man. But she still holds on, unmoving.
どうした?
Aww. Okabe's always so bad at these, but come on, man! Come on, you should know! She finally relaxes her arms and moves away from me. But I think this is actually her realizing it too, because that's the whole, like, her adventure in Zero. It's like her actually, like, really recognizing that she likes Okabe. And I think this is kind of her wake-up call here.
悪かったな。驚かせて。
おかわり、溺れたかと思った。
Fetch.
そんなオーバーな。ちょっとバランスを崩しただけだ。
でも。
No, Okabe, come on. It's closer than that. She's right. I really was drowning, but I don't want to worry her, so I pretend everything was fine. Gotcha.
なあなあオカリン、その美味しい状況、なんてエロゲ?
Alright, I'm gonna kick you between the legs.
でむしろお前は少しくらい心配しろ。
にゃにゃ、もしかして本当に溺れてたのかにゃ?
Yeah.
そういうわけではないが、水中で右腕の封印が解けそうになったのだ。どうやら水の精霊たちと共鳴してしまったらしいな。
Right. I don't blame him, and we need Hyun and Kyoma. We all know we need him, but gosh darn it, man. Sometimes I wish you would just snap out of this a bit.
それはピンチだったにゃ。気づいてあげられなくてごめんにゃ。
なーに、俺の力をもってすれば大した危機ではないさ。
Yep, yep. All right. Party's over. Get out of it, Okabe.
Whoa!
Mayuri starts crying all of a sudden. It was powerful and unreserved, like a child might cry. And she held on to my body yet again. Yeah, I think it's partly because she knows what he means when he starts talking like that it was that close.
まゆり
どうしたんだにゃ。
オカリンが死んじゃうと思ったよ。
Oh man. Yeah, we gotta forget, like, her whole, like, life and her whole, like, her childhood was marred with the death of someone she cared deeply about. Suddenly passing without her believing it. Passing in a situation that she might have been the fault of. Which, you know, she wasn't. Her grandmother passed away. It just happened, like the circumstances were very believable and understandable. Just like this. Like, she wins tickets to a water park. But you think that her psyche would be able to handle that? A second death of someone she truly, like, loves with all her heart? And that she could blame on herself? Holy crap, I hadn't even thought of that.
いやいや死なないから。
だって
俺はそう不死身だ。世界に混沌をもたらすまでは絶対に死なん。それが法王隠居魔の背負った宿命なのだからな。
オカリン、どこにも行っちゃやだ。
Alright. Propriety chucked aside, man. You take this girl, you escort her out of the pool, and you freaking snuggle with her until she gets embarrassed. Because then you'll know she's back to normal.
行かない。俺はどこにも行かないぞ。
なあなあオカリン、それなんてイカ略。
You shut your face.
だからお前は少しくらい心配しろ。
Mayuri was crying and clinging to me for the next few minutes. Surprised to see us like this upon her return, Kurisu asked.
ねえ岡部、それなんて以下略？
Yo, you serious?
いい加減その発想はやめろ。
お騒がせしました。
So, see, now we're good. Now you can go ranting about and raving about your normal fanatical stuff. Like, just give her some time to, like, breathe.
まったくだ。えらい見せ物になったぞ。恥ずかしい。
No, it's fine.
元はといえばあんたが無茶したのが悪いんでしょ。
Yes, let's move on.
俺は無茶などしていない。右腕の封印が解けそうになったのが原因なのだ。
はいはい。12秒12秒。
You. We calmed Mayuri down, got changed, and left the swimming pool. But before we reached the station, we decided to stop for some tea.
でもマユシーはすごかったにゃ。氷魔の様子がなんか変だにゃと思った瞬間にズバーって泳ぎ出して。
Good.
確かに熱い泳ぎだったおまゆし。
そうかな。夢中だったからよく覚えてないや。
She's acted on instinct. That's Mayuri. She's the best mom. Best mom. We all know that. It's true. Best mom.
でもさ、ああいう場合、ギャルゲやラノベなら大抵あのシーンに行くんだけどな。
Yeah, we all know. But come on. Illustrated novels trigger primarily teenagers, young adult males. It's one of those things too, like a lot of animes are younger people. Like, part of me always feels a little weird because I'm like, I'm getting to the point. It's not targeting my demographic, but I still enjoy it so much. Like, there's definitely something wrong with me, isn't there? Although light novels can deal with just about any subject matter, in recent years we've seen a trend towards stories about teenage boys meeting cute girls and winding up in extraordinary situations. Yeah, because we're all just suckers for that moe stuff.
あのシーンってなんだ？
No, don't entertain this.
主人公が溺れてヒロインが人工呼吸するんだお。 不可抗力を装った濃ゆいキスシーン。うは来たこれ。
I don't think that counts too, by the way. Like, good grief. If you're gonna disqualify a first kiss because of a life-saving maneuver, that's just, you're just being finicky at that point. yeah. So Ferris is like, ooh, and these two are like, oh!
残念だったねオカリン。
バカなことを言うな。
オーカリンの人工呼吸ならダル君に頼むよ。
Ow, that kind of hurts. Ow.
絶対に
Heck no. I would rather die. Not really, but imagining Dario kissing me and nearly pass out.
人工呼吸はともかく、岡部、あんたまゆりに何かお礼した方がいいわよ。
Yes, I agree. Absolutely.
俺か。
Like, take her on a date. Get her some juicy chicken. Like, come on, man. It's not hard to please her.
ああ、いいよ。オカリンが元気ならそれだけでマユシーは嬉しいのです。
No, no, no. I refuse. And I refuse. She may say that, but I remember the way she cried. I really want to do something to make her feel better. Oh, yes. Mail time. The pool. Oh, I'm jealous. I want to hang out too. It's from Okabe. She says she has some editing to do at her production company. She must be on a break if she's messaging me. Oh, that, of course. That's from Mocha again. Okabe-kun, that was dangerous. Are you hurt? Are you serious? She was actually there? Wait, does she know that I almost drowned? How? Shina-san said, Shina-san, you really do care about Okabe-kun, don't you? You're even making me a little teary-eyed, Mocha. What? Wait, hold on. Was she texting us the whole time, but we only are just getting it? Interesting. Why did she feel like she saw everything? I was so stunned that I had to look up and scan the surrounding area for her. Oh, that she's here! Ha! The sender of the text was right behind me.
じゃないわ。貴様はストーカーか。
キリオさん。
She does that a lot in these stories. Haven't you noticed that? She's always around and she always gets the pictures at the perfect moment.
なんでここにいるの？
Yep, there she goes.
驚くも何も、今日は仕事じゃなかったのか。
Did I surprise you? I bet I did. Yeah, you did. I like how she's so cheery in her text messages. Yeah, I'm at work. Okay. Oh.
っていうか口で説明しろ。めんどくさくてかなわん。
Really?
だから口で説明しろ。他のメンバーに話が伝わらんではないか。
It's kind of funny though. It reminds me of those conversations that they do. It's a thing that they do a lot in Star Wars, but I'm sure that there's other examples of it where one creature or like a robot is talking in just like whistles, beeps, roars, grunts, you know, like just not words, but then the character responds to their like the sounds and body language, and so you get an implied conversation. I really love that. That can be a really fun way to play with characters and like communication, non-verbal communication especially, and the comedy can be just golden. So I think Boka is a great Wookiee.
仕事ここで
Okay.
何？
偶然ここで
Right.
何の仕事なのかにゃ？
ホームページ
Okay.
俺が間違っていた指圧しメールを許可する。時間がかかりすぎて帰ってイライラする。
Fair. Alright. Basically, the editorial department here doesn't just handle magazines, we also do internet-related work, you know, stuff like websites and building webzines and building different sites to different companies, right? Right now, our current project is designing a site for this theme park, just as I'm just an assistant, though.
そういうことね。
Kurisu read the message Mocha just sent to me and nodded.
ウェブデザインか。なかなか大変そうだな。
It's also a very lucrative thing. Alright. It's a low budget project, so there's only a few of us working on it. Haha. We're in the middle of making a special website page for the holidays. Every time I don't like. I wish I could scroll it down. That's why I came here with the director for the meeting.
クリスマス？こんな時期から作り始めるのかにゃ？
Well, it actually kind of makes sense. I mean, this is August, so we're more than halfway through the year. If you get everything set up, then you'll be all set to roll and can pop it out right at November kind of time. But the other thing is too, like, this is like an outdoor park. What are they gonna be doing during Christmas time that would actually be related to pictures that you take this time of year?
そう何回も直し
Oh, okay. So maybe it's actually like multi-layered use. Like these pictures might be used more recently, and then they like develop the site over time.
なるほどねでお願いがあるの
Oh dear.
お願い？
椎名さんに
Oh.
マユシ？
Oh no, you want her to model her swimming suit, don't you? Mayuri was surprised by the sudden focus on her.
そう
Consider this a favor, pretty please, Shina-san. Would you mind helping me at work? You'll be paid and everything, Mocha. I show Mayuri the text.
マユシにできることなら
Careful, you don't know what you're agreeing to. Okay. If anything, Shina-san's the only one that can pull this off. Actually, the director saw you and immediately wanted you for the spot. Apparently, she'd been looking around to different, different modeling and agencies, but had zero luck. Huh? What? What's this supposed to mean? I stared at the message on my screen. Come on, Okabe. Come on, put it together. I was unsure whether or not I should show it to Mayuri, but I gave her my phone anyway. She wants you as a model. As I thought, Mayuri doesn't understand it either. She looks from the screen to Mocha and back again, searching for an answer. Here we go. That's why they want her to model for the promotional photos, for the special site. I mean, can you blame them? She's like horrifically beautifully proportioned and athletic. I mean, she's got like the best of every world, if you think about it. We raised our voices in unison. Surprised by our outburst, Kurisu, Ferris, and Dario quickly look at the screen.
うわマジで？
すごいじゃない
羨ましいにゃ困るよ
Why not?
もしかしてまゆりの学校ってダメなのこういうの
Do schools do that?
別に大丈夫だけど毒もやってる子もいるし
Right, gotcha.
じゃあ問題ないじゃない
でもモデルなんて無理だよ
I don't know, Mayuri. You probably could.
そんなことないと思う
Mocha proceeds to explain her request in detail. To summarize, the production company Mocha works for has been seeking a girl with an innocent air that would fit the theme of the special Christmas website. While they normally look at modeling agencies, this time they couldn't find one that matched the director's vision. But when the director saw Mayuri after a meeting, she thought that Mayuri was exactly what she was looking for. Okay, so they want her mannerisms more than anything else. Like, and they can't find. They're saying, well, if we can't find out officially, why don't we just use the genuine article? I mean, she's cute. She's got the atmosphere. Probably all they really need to do is set up the scene and just tell her to go, and they'll just take pictures, and they'll probably get what they're looking for. Throughout a. Like turning them loose. Oh, that could be cute. If they want innocent, they might want her on a date. So maybe they'd put Okabe in there too. So what they orchestrate is like really like adorable like Christmas date where they just turn them loose inside this park. You know, they might turn the park into a skate park. I'm pretty sure that there's like logistic problems with that, but I mean, as far-fetched as it could sound, like what if they did that? And they set up all these Christmas decorations, and then they turned Okabe and Mayuri loose and just told them, just go have fun, and we'll just take pictures. You won't even know we're here. Boom. Instant, incredible photo op. Yeah, yeah.
どうって言われても OK なら紹介するけど
I mean, you could at least do that much. I follow Mooka's eyes to a woman looking at us from a distance. When she sees us looking at her, she makes a little bow. Seems that's the director. She must have asked Mooka to talk to Mayuri so she wouldn't feel uncomfortable. It's an easier request from a friendly face.
でもね萌香さんからのお願いでも絶対に無理だよ
Aww. Mayuri looked at me as if asking for support.
指圧しよう。確かにマユリは素材としては優れているかもしれんが、本人が嫌がっているものを無理強いはできないんじゃないか。
The perfect response.
そうね
ということで、諦めてくれ。
Yeah. But the director's really excited about this. I'd love to have you on board. Pretty please, Sheena-san. You don't have to get back to me right now. So, would you mind giving it some thought? If you decide to do it, feel free to email me at any time of day.
一応考えてみるけどあんまり期待しないでほしいな
Mm-hmm.
分かった
Mooka nodded to Mayuri and said she had work to do and left with the director.
やってみればまゆり
もったいないにゃ。
Well, I mean, come on, listen. Like, I understand you want to be supportive, but like, if someone says no, they say no. Not everyone's comfortable with doing something like modeling. Not everyone will be comfortable with various job opportunities, even if other people would die for them. Even if it could be the chance of a lifetime. Even if it could be your opportunity to break into an industry that's highly coveted and highly competitive. Heck, the fact that it's highly competitive alone might make you not want to be a part of that community. It's just one of those things. Like, you could always give encouragement, but like, they really shouldn't push this issue too much. You never should.
できないよモデルさんなんてねえおかり
Like, again, it's one of those things where like, it's very, like, you could probably do exactly what they want, and I think you'd be gorgeous doing it, but if you don't want to, then don't do it. Like, it doesn't matter if you can do it, it just means if you want to.
まあ無理だろうな。
Oh, come on.
いや、さっきも言った通り、素材としては問題ないと思うぞ。ただ、なんというか、マユリのイメージじゃないからな。
You almost messed that up. Clumsy on the dismount, but you kind of got back around. Try as I might, I couldn't imagine Mayuri posing for a photo shoot.
だけど僕は見てみたかったおマユシの写真。もしかしたらそれがきっかけでブレイクしちゃうかもしれないし。
Again, yeah, it could be, but if that's not something she's interested in, it doesn't matter.
それってありそう。そしたらフェイリスもアイドルデビューして二人でユニットを組もうかにゃ。
That would be very adorable.
やめてよダルくんフェリスちゃん
Though she probably would, I could see her actually getting she could probably do pretty well if she went into set design for like movies, like designing costumes. Mayuri waved her hands in front of her face as if she could fan away her sheepishness. Then she looked at me and said, "You guys are making me blush," with a small laugh. Interesting. Ah, the cicadas are singing again. They're always so loud. Another scorching hot day. The room was so humid it felt like I was sitting in a sauna. My clothes stuck to my skin with sweat. Now, cicadas being loud, that's par for the course. If you somehow live somewhere without cicadas, like, trust me, it's actually kind of nice to not have them around. I always forget until summer rolls around how noisy they make nighttime. Even with windows shut and everything, it's just like, oh my gosh, will you guys chill? And don't even get me started on camping. It's like inconsistent white noise, which is the worst kind of white noise. But the game always plays the audio for this part a lot higher than the music even, so I apologize. The room was so humid it felt like I was sitting in a sauna. My clothes stuck to my skin. Oh, I already read that one. I took out a Dr. P from the fridge and chugged it. My third bottle this morning. You were gonna kill your kidneys.
私にもくれる
Oh.
I gave a bottle to Kurisu. Yeah.
こんなに暑いとまたプールにでも行きたいわね
I agree. She wiped the sweat off her brow with a handkerchief.
いいなあ。私も行きたかった。
I thought it would have been fun to have you there too.
僕もです。
Yeah, you especially, Luca.
二人とも次は一緒に行けるといいにゃ。
でも僕その水着が恥ずかしくて。
Yeah, I know.
あー疲れたお。癒されたい。
I don't know. With what?
おいこらダル、そろそろ第523回円卓会議を始めるぞ。いい加減起きてこい。
Oh boy, what are we discussing this time? Daru had hidden himself away in the development room working on some mysterious project, but he was snoring like a beast by the stroke of midnight. I found it rather unusual for a night owl like him, but I guess the swimming pool tired him out.
マユシとキリュウシがいないね。
That's a fair point, actually. Where are they?
参りは補修で遅くなるそうだ。
Gotcha. And now it's 6 people for our roundtable conference. Me, Daru, Kurisu, Luca, Kofaris, and Susaha.
ルカシは補修は大丈夫なの？
はい、僕はなんとか赤手を免れたので。
Aww.
よくやったな、ルカ御用。
はい、これも京馬さんのおかげです。
Nice. Before summer break, Lukako and Mayuri often came by our lab to study for their tests. With math and physics were getting them down, I stepped in to cheer them on. Good man.
激励だけなら誰でもできるわよね。
Harsh but fair.
身も蓋もない言い方をするなよ。
で、萌えにゃんはどうしたのかにゃ。
例のウェブサイトの仕事で欠席するそうだ。さっきメールがあった。
Right.
例のウェブサイト？
Can I check that actually? Because normally I can. Like, they're so thorough. I'm not going to be able to make it to the meeting today. I have tons of work. Take care. Yep, it's so cool how they make sure to put those little details in.
何ですかそれ。
な、二人は知らないんだったな。
I gave them the rundown.
まゆりちゃんが？
写真のモデルか。すごいね。
でも断っちゃったんだお。もったいなくね？
仕方ないだろう。モデルなんて派手なバイト、まゆりには似合わん。
そんなことないんじゃない？
I'm with Kurisu on this one, but again, doesn't matter. If she doesn't want it, she doesn't need it.
え？
まゆりなら十分モデルとして通用すると思うけどな。
フェイリスもそう思うにゃ。マユシーはものすごく魅力的だにゃ。
I mean, yeah, she's got the blessed genetics that would make it much easier for her than other people.
その意見には賛成だね。
僕もそう思います。
The lady contingent, which included one guy, all agreed with Kurisu.
岡部は小さい頃からまゆりと一緒にいるんでしょ？だから気づいてないんじゃないの？
I mean, that's also fair, I think. Like, I think when you have someone around all the time, especially from such a young age, like, if you don't just naturally fall for them or, like, start to see them in a different light as you get older, when you're, like, attracted to each other or even just one-way attraction, like, if you don't, like, acknowledge that, it actually probably could completely miss it.
気づいてない？
Like, it sounds like a weird example. Please don't take this the wrong way, but I think it's the exact same problem, of course, with any, like, with a blood relative, like a cousin or a sister. Like, you can acknowledge if you really think about it, like, oh yeah, you know, my cousin is pretty cute, but like, you never ever think of that because, you know, they're family, they're close family, like, it's just not a line you cross, and you shouldn't ever think of crossing. And it just, like, for most people, sadly, there's a small percentage that don't have that limiter for whatever reason, but for most people, that was a line you never could even conceive of crossing. But it's like, when you sit and actually think of it objectively, be like, oh yeah, I guess you got a point. Okabe sees Mary as a sister, so objectively, he probably would sit down and admit, oh yeah, she is really cute. I mean, he had his moments when he saw her in the swimming suit and when she was clutching to him. Like, he obviously understands that connection, but he's unwilling to pursue that line of reasoning further, but that's mostly because he's kind of an idiot. Oh, there's the wink.
ばかり思ってた幼馴染がね、いつの間にか魅力的な女性になってたって話よ。
Kurisu laughed and gave me a stare with some meaning behind it.
なんだそれは。これだからスイーツ脳は困る。
スイーツ脳って言うな。
でもね、フェイリスはずっと聞きたいと思ってたんだにゃ。今日まってマヨシーのことどう思ってるのかにゃ。
Why did this meeting suddenly turn up into my feelings for Mayuri? Can we please get back to the topic at hand, which I don't even know anymore?
何？
赤くなったにゃ。怪しいにゃ。
Uh-oh. Ferris's eyes sparkled.
どう思うも何もただの人質だ。
Yeah.
そういう中二設定はいいから。
There's a reason for that.
中二設定ではないわ。
ちょっと悔しいですけど、僕もまゆりちゃんなら京馬さんとお似合いかなって。
I mean, we all thought this entire time.
ルカ子、お前までおかしなことを言い出すな。
すみません。悔しいと言ったのは別に変な意味じゃなくて、
Of course, that's what you got hung up on.
あ、いや、俺が突っ込んだのはそこじゃないからな。
なに話が読めない。岡部倫太郎って椎名まゆりと何かあるの？
つまりさ、幼なじみルートのフラグが立つか立たないかの瀬戸際ってことだお。
One of the best parts about being such a big fan of visual novels is understanding like the lingo of triggering flags and such. It's like, it's so like surreal to have him talking about like such like visual novel game terms about in a visual novel. It's just great.
どんなフラグだ？何のフラグだ？
Okay, things have gotten weird. I need to get everyone back on topic.
さて、そろそろ雑談は終わりだ。これより第523回円卓会議を始める。
Yeah, what's this one supposed to be, yeah? I started with an air of befitting the laboratory leader.
あ、ごまかした。
Yeah.
今日待ってばわかりやすいにゃ。
Yeah, shut your faces. We all know it.
え？
The gossip simply continues as if I hadn't said a word. As I prepared to call for their attention again, I heard someone coming up the stairs. Hey! Doo-doo-doo!
遅くなりました。
Yay! How'd your test go? Mayuri came into the room with a smile. Upon her appearance, the dimly lit lab somehow seemed to get a little bit brighter. Aw, come on, man. He's really fallen for her.
どうしたのみんな。まゆしーの顔に何かついてる？
This is gonna be adorable, but here's the thing too, like, it's kind of weird. Even as a character in a game, I actually have to admit that whenever she appears, she does brighten the room, doesn't she? Isn't that kind of odd? Like, here I am kind of criticizing that whole feature, but then every time she appears, like, what did I just do there? I was like, doo-doo-doo, like, how can you not hear that and immediately feel better about everything that's happening in your life right now, you know? Like, I mean, could you imagine like being out and about, like say you're riding like the bus or something or a train and you're like heading back from another grueling day at work and you're just sick and tired and you just want to be home. It's like time to kick up your feet and you're just standing there and then suddenly somebody like next to you, like their phone buzzes and that instead of doing a ringtone, it goes doo-doo-doo, Mayushi, like in her voice. Like, that would make me smile. I wouldn't say anything to the person, you know, because, you know, it would be horrifically like embarrassed to do so, but I would smile. I'd be very happy. It'd make my day better. So there's something to that. The character definitely makes life better in in little ways, you know? Mayuri seemed perplexed when she realized that every eye in the room was focused in on her.
なんでもない。ほら、ここに座れ。
Yep, get over there. I pointed to her spot at the table.
でもその前にジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンを温めてもいい？
Absolutely.
朝から何にも食べてないんだ。
All day? That's bad for you.
そういえばお腹空いたわね。
クリスちゃんも食べる？バナナもあるよ。
Yes, the bananas! Mayuri took the fried chicken and bananas out of the bag and showed them to us.
ありがとう。いただくわ。
ねえねえ、どうせだからさ、そろそろお昼にしない？
Yeah, I mean, let's walk to the convenience store, get some stuff for everybody.
そうしよう。 みんなピザでいい？
Ooh, pizza. Before anyone responds, he starts talking out a menu for a delivery place.
おいこら、これから円卓会議なんだぞ。
Oh, come on, you could do a roundtable conference with food.
どうせろくでもない話しかしないんだから食べながらでもいいんじゃないの？
なに？
Excuse moi?
じゃあオカリンはいらないんだね、ピザ。
カマンベールミックスにしろ。
Yes, he likes his classic fancy cheeses.
なんだ結局食うのかよ。
できれば僕辛くないのがいいです。
That sounds good.
私も。
Ah, pizza. I love pizza. I actually like spice too. Like, one of the benefits of getting healthier is I don't have any acid reflux when I eat spicy food, and so I've been like really cranking up the notches on the spice lately. It's been amazing.
フェイリスは激辛希望にゃん。
Hey, yep, Ferris, best girl. What I say? What I say?
私も激辛。マユシーはお野菜がいっぱい乗ってるのが嬉しいな。
Mayuri's got it also too. The veggie style pizza is the best pizza.
カマンベールミックスが1枚と、ベジタブルが1枚と、激辛イタリアンが1枚と、あと普通のミックスピザが1枚でいいかな。
Dang, that's a lot of pizzas. Hey, if you get it for a decent price, sounds good to me. Super spicy Italian. Like, why Italian spicy? Like, okay, I guess.
4枚も？多くないの？
僕がいますから。
Ah, fair.
なるほど。
それじゃ頼んでくるよ。
Is it weird? I actually feel like I'm a lab mem at this point. Like, I feel like I talk with the characters at this rate. Daro took his phone and disappeared into the development room.
せっかくだから苗も呼んであげようかな。さっき下にいたんだ。
Oh, that'd be great. Maybe even Boss if he's not too angry.
そうしようよ。
おいおい、子供とはいえ部外者だぞ。大事な円卓会議に呼ぶやつがあるか。
No.
いいじゃない。どうせろくでもない話しか以下同文。
ミスター・ブラウンまで押しかけてきたらどうする？おっかないだろう。
Yeah, if I give him food, I'm sure he's fine. There he is.
誰がおっかないって？
Of course it's you, Mr. Freaking Arms Like Trees.
邪魔するぜ。
Mr. Braun stomped into our lab, a little shadow followed close behind him. Hey, there he is.
こんにちは。
Hey, Nai.
ああ、苗。今呼びに行こうと思ってたんだ。
聞こえてたよ。ごちそうしてくれるらしいじゃねえか。すまねえな。
Sure.
まあいつも世話になってるし、このくらい構わん。
Right.
ちょうどよかった。これからちょいと仕入れに行かなきゃならなくてな。苗を頼もうと思ってたんだ。
Aw, sweet. Mr. Braun gently pushed Nai's back into her and guided her toward us. Nai seemed a little nervous at first to be surrounded by lab mems, but when she saw Mayuri, she rushed over to her. Told you, best mom.
マユリお姉ちゃん。
Aww.
なえちゃん、お姉ちゃんと一緒にピザ食べよう。
She called her like sister Mayuri. But at ease, Nai began to smile. Mayuri has that effect on people. Yes, she does.
じゃあ頼むぜ。おいバイト、ちょっと店番しててくれ。
今日は休みなんだけどな。
固いこと言うなって。飯食ってからでいいからよ。
Fair.
了解。
Mr. Brown waved goodbye to Nai and walked out the stairs.
なえちゃん、ジューシー唐揚げナンバーワンも食べる？
But the pizza!
それじゃあピザが届いたら温めるね。
Okay, there you go. Nai clung to Mayuri with a look of joy.
ああ、マユリお姉ちゃん、いい匂いがする。
Aww.
そうかな。別に何もつけてないけど。
Mayuri spoke while sniffing herself.
だけど、いい匂いがするわ。
Aww. Nai buried her face in Mayuri's chest.
くすぐったいよ。ひひひ。
Okabe, you wanting to swap places?
こういう時僕は思うんだ。どうして子供に生まれなかったのだろうと。
Yeah, but you know what? You wouldn't have appreciated it even if you were. Daru returned from the development room with that weird statement.
オカリンもそう思うだろう。
思うわけないだろ。
Mm-mm.
ねえねえお姉ちゃん、それは何？
Caught me off guard. Excuse me. Now I looked at the doll in Mary's bag. Oh yeah.
ああ、これはね、ロボマユシーなんだよ。
Roma Mayushi. I love the name.
ロボマユシー？そう、マユシーの考えた未来ガジェットなのです。マユシーです。オカリン、ちゃんとお野菜も食べなきゃダメだよ。
It's so cute.
すごいすごい。
Nai was beaming, as I thought. It truly is a toy for children.
だいぶできてきたわね、まゆり。
It's really cute. It's really cute. I want one. Did they ever sell these? That'd be amazing.
オカリン、寝る前にはちゃんと歯を磨いてね。あと、おへそ出して寝ちゃダメだよ。
どうでもいいがまゆり。なんでそんなメッセージばかりなのだ？
岡部がダメ人間だからどうしても言いたくなっちゃうのよね。
Oh, harsh.
ほうほう。お前とは一回きちんと話をしなくてはならんようだな、クリスティーナ。
Yeah.
望むところよ。
オカリンおじさんってダメ人間なの？
Yes, but we're gonna pretend otherwise.
違うわ。
Hey, calm down.
ああ、ダメだよオカリン。なえちゃんをいじめちゃう。まゆりお姉ちゃん。よしよし。
Aww. The small creature buried her face in Mary's chest again.
むふや
You
っぱり子供に生まれてくればよかった。
back off, sir. Daru looked envious at Nai and repeated his weird statement. The Yamanote line is usually really crowded on Saturday nights, but it seemed everyone was otherwise occupied at Bond festivals tonight. Mayuri and I got onto the rear train car and sat down. I had decided to go home for the night. All the other lab members were heading home too, so there wasn't much for me to do anyway. But this is actually a good place for us to stop. I was actually just roaring to go, but I realized, you know what, if I go too much longer, it's just going to take forever to head. Oh, by the way, coolest sign, Chaos Head, Noah, on the background. Definitely nice personal plugging. Very, very cool. Yeah, so I think I'll talk about this. I mentioned it in a few comments, but I just want to get it out here as we wrap this up. So thank you guys so much for being at the video, by the way. I appreciate it. This is a bit of a small announcement. I'm sure I'll say it more often than not, but it's good to get it in a video format. I definitely would love to and plan to cover more Steins Gate World Universe material. Chaos Head, Chaos Child, the robotics one, and the new one coming out. Like, these are games I plan to play someday on the channel. But I need to take I think I need to take a break from these games for a bit. Firstly, I think it might be just time to shake things up. Like, the channel's been very heavy, Steinsgate, Muv-Love, and I'm not seeing it into the Muv-Love tunnel anytime soon. I would kind of like to embrace, like, Magus and Steinsgate in the same way, but I really can't. I've been getting a little drama since Magus got bought out by another company. They have been a lot more aggressive about me posting these videos, and, like, so the catch-22 that happens on YouTube is, like, you make content like this, companies can decide to claim it, and they're within their right to do so. If they choose to do that, that's fine. But the problem is that when they do that, it actually harms my place with YouTube and the algorithm. So the videos they claim, they don't get pushed to you as often. Like, you might actually not get notifications from them. This normally isn't a problem because most companies understand that, like, having this kind of like symbiotic relationship with people who are like analyzing or critiquing games and exploring them with people is actually beneficial for the games in the long term, though they probably prefer just straight reviews rather than playthroughs. I totally get that. That's why I've always done my best to work with these companies and to be on their, listening to them as best I can. But when they change like that, it does start affecting the channel negatively. Not in any major way, and it's never going to stop me from playing these games, but we used to have a good relationship, me and Mages. Like, I contacted them when I started steinsgate, and they were fine with it, but now the new management's probably given them new direction, and it's caused some heat for me. And so I kind of want to step back and let things settle on their end a bit. So there's a good chance that I'm going to step away into another series or two before we jump back into Chaos Head Chaos Child. It's not that I don't want to play these games. I absolutely do. We're going to cover them eventually. But it might just need to take a break for a second. So don't be disappointed if that's the case. But anyway, I'm going to move on to the rest of the ending. Thank you so much to the fabulous patrons whose names have been on the screen for a while now. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate all your support and this... your input and being able to share with you things like the patron cast, where I get to have your input directly and answer your questions, to the the polls I do where you help me select content we're going to cover in the future. I really am grateful for that. I look forward to continuing to work with you closely. Thank you so much for supporting the channel directly. Everything you do is going to go towards helping make this channel even better. To all you viewers who are here, don't feel pressured to be a patron. You guys are doing me so much like a courtesy just being here, watching the videos. Thank you so much for that. You guys really don't understand how much this helps me. Being able to come here and record a video like this when I've had a really rough day like I did today, and feeling so happy when I walk away from it is really one of the best things. And knowing that there's people out there who actually are curious and want to like watch my content, it's really, really cool. So thank you so much. Every single one of you means the world to me. So thank you. And I hope that I can keep making great content that keeps you coming back, sharing these wonderful stories with you, and in a way that I think can be unique and different, so that you feel like you get something special when you come spend time with me. So thank you again. And until the next video watching me, see me next. I'll see you there.